Welcome to its American podcast sponsored by SparksCash.com, the podcast that dives deep into the heart of what shapes our nation's spirit and character. I'm your host, Roger Heilig, and today we're embarking on a special journey that resonates with the very chords of the American narrative. Pull up a chair, lend me your ears, and let's unwrap the story of a small-town girl who dreamt big, strummed her heart out, and captivated not just America but the entire world. We're talking about none other than Taylor Swift, America's country pop sweetheart, her rise to stardom, and how she etched her name into the annals of music history. So, get comfy as we take a walk down the memory lane of Taylor's illustrious career, her undying influence, and the indelible mark she's left on American music. Let's get started. Alright, so who is Taylor Swift? To many, she's more than just a name that flashes across Spotify or Apple Music. She's a narrative, an inspiration, a soundtrack to countless lives. But let's rewind a bit. Born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania, Taylor Allison Swift started her journey with a love for country music and storytelling. Young Taylor grew up on her family's Christmas tree farm, and it's easy to imagine those pastoral scenes being the backdrop for her future lyrical landscapes. Swift wasn't just a dreamer, she was a doer. At the tender age of 14, she moved to the epicenter of country music, Nashville, Tennessee, armed with her guitar and a pen pulsing with lyrics. It didn't take long for her to get noticed. She signed her first record deal with Big Machine Records, a newly formed independent label at the time. In 2006, she released her debut self-titled album, a collection of songs that showcased not only her voice, but her ability to tell a story that listeners felt deep in their bones. The magic of Taylor's music lied in her honesty. It was as if she took pages out of her diary and set them to tunes that made you bob your head or sometimes wipe a tear away. Songs like Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, and Our Song resonated with a young audience that saw themselves in her words. It wasn't just music, it was a shared experience of growing up, of first loves and heartbreaks. From strumming on stages at county fairs to selling out stadiums worldwide, Taylor's career skyrocketed. She had the ability to morph, musically and thematically, with each album she put out into the world. It's almost as if with every reinvention, she left breadcrumbs for her fans to follow, leading them to the next chapter of her ever-evolving story. It's hard to pinpoint the exact moment that Taylor Swift went from a country darling to an international pop icon. Was it the VMA incident with Kanye West in 2009, where her grace under pressure won the hearts of millions? Or was it the release of 1989 in 2014, a glitzy synth-pop departure from her country roots that cemented her place in pop royalty? But what's undeniable is that by crossing genres, from country to pop, and even a surprise indie turn with her albums, Folklore and Evermore, Taylor Swift has become a chameleon of the music industry. She's defied the odds, disrupted the norms, and perhaps most importantly, she's done it her way. She's not just an artist, she's a phenomenon that has rewritten the script for what a modern musician can achieve. And that, my friends, is just scratching the surface of who Taylor Swift is. Taylor Swift's ascent to stardom wasn't just a stroke of luck. No, it was a climb punctuated with unforgettable melodies and the kind of storytelling that gets woven into America's collective identity. Let's talk about those influential albums and the electric singles that took Taylor from Nashville's starry-eyed country darling to a megastar dazzling pop arenas around the world. It all really started to come together with Taylor's second album, Fearless. Picture this, 2008. The year that Love Story and You Belong With Me become anthems for teenagers everywhere. Fearless wasn't just an album, it felt like a narrative, told from the diary of a girl navigating love and heartbreak in a way that was beautifully relatable. And let's not forget, this album snagged Taylor her first Album of the Year Grammy, making her the youngest artist to win the category at that time. But Taylor, she didn't rest on her laurels. Oh no, she was just getting warmed up. Each album that followed showed facets of her evolution, both as an artist and as a young woman finding her voice in a cacophony of fame. Once the sweet melodies of Speak Now hit the airwaves, we knew she wasn't just singing songs, she was carving her spot in music, with every word penned by her own hand. Tracks like Mine and Back to December continued to echo that personal storytelling style that by now had become her signature. Then, Taylor did something remarkable. She made the leap from country to mainstream pop with Red. Can we talk about We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together? That was the anthem of 2012, and it signaled a significant shift in her career. Her sound became bolder, and her lyrics, while still distinctly Taylor, began tackling a broader range of emotions. It wasn't just about fairy tale love anymore. It was about the complexity of relationships, about growing up, and about self-discovery. 1989 arrived, and with it, The World Got Shake It Off, a song that threw away the shackles of past heartaches and danced into an era of synth-pop bliss. It wasn't just an album, it was a cultural reset, a moment where Taylor Swift stopped being just a singer and became an icon. Winning her second Album of the Year Grammy, Taylor solidified her place not just in American music, but in the global pop landscape. Each album and single released wasn't just a discography update. It was a chronicle of change, a map of Taylor's journey from Tim McGraw to Reputation, Lover to Folklore, and evermore. With each turn, with each transition, what remained unwavering was her ability to capture the hearts of millions who saw their own lives reflected in her songs. And don't think for a second that this rise to fame was just about her music, her strategic use of social media, her unwavering stand on artist rights, her public image. All of this contributed to the building of a brand that redefined what it meant to be a star in the modern era. There's something almost magical about Taylor Swift's rise. It's as if with every strum of her guitar, with every lyric she writes, she pulls ahead, evolving, yet holding on to the threads of that young country artist who dreamt of being a star. And let me tell this, America, she's far, far more than just a star. She's a meteor, blazing her own trail across the pop universe. When we talk about impact, we're often referring to a lasting transformation, and Taylor Swift's influence on American music is unequivocally transformative. Her songwriting style alone has redefined what it means to write popular music. It's personal, it's raw, and it's all about telling stories that connect with the listener on a fundamental level. Through her narrative lyrics, Swift has become not just a singer or entertainer, but a storyteller for a generation. Every song crafted by Swift is like a page out of a diary that millions have been granted permission to read. These aren't just catchy tunes, they're confessions, aspirations, and heartbreaks all rolled into a melody. Swift has this unique ability to capture moments in her lyrics so specific that they evoke universal emotions. Whether she's singing about first loves in Love Story, the pain of growing apart in Wildest Dreams, or embracing individuality in Shake It Off, there is a genuine relatability her fans cling to. Her narrative-driven songs allow listeners to find pieces of their own lives in her music. It's no surprise that fans often say they feel like Swift is singing directly to them. This personal connection is what turns casual listeners into devoted fans. It's the cornerstone of her massive appeal. Swift has also managed to take the country storytelling tradition and weave it into pop music seamlessly. She started with her country roots, often rich in storytelling, but as she crossed into pop, she didn't leave that behind. Instead, she brought it along, showing that you can maintain your artistic integrity while broadening your musical horizons. She made it clear, the genre might change, but the storytelling prowess remains. But it isn't just the tales she tells, it's how she tells them. Her lyrics aren't just heard, they're felt. Every high school heartache, every public misstep, every moment of vindication, she turns them into something that not only resonates, but transcends. Her songs become anthems for varied experiences, heralding both the significant and mundane moments of life. And let's talk about her music's role in cultural conversations. It's substantial. Swift doesn't just reflect on personal experiences, she touches on social issues as well. In songs like The Man, she highlights gender inequality, adding her powerful voice to the ongoing dialogue around women's rights in America and beyond. Lastly, the way she interacts with her fans. Remember the Swift Christmas gifts or the secret sessions before album releases? This has set a new standard for how artists engage with their audience. Swift isn't just selling records, she's curating experiences, building a community, fostering a sense of belonging among her followers. This is the modern era of musician-fan relation, and she is at its forefront. Her approach has undoubtedly shaped the industry's expectations of how an artist can and should connect with their audience. And this is the Swift effect, an unparalleled blend of musical genius and savvy fan engagement that's changed the shape of American music. Her footprint is everywhere, from the next generation of songwriters to the fans who feel seen and heard in her lyrics. Taylor Swift is more than a pop star. She's a musical force that continues to shape the heartbeat of American culture. Taylor Swift isn't just a name, she's a brand, a solidly American brand at that. But what exactly makes her stand out as a distinctly American icon? Well, let's start with her style. It's like she's walked straight out of a Norman Rockwell painting and updated that timeless American charm for the modern era. From her music videos to her red carpet looks, there's always been a hint of Americana. Whether it's denim, sparkly dresses reminiscent of 1950s prom queens, or her casual street style that anyone could picture themselves in, Taylor has truly crafted a look that resonates with fans across the nation. And speaking of resonance, her themes go hand in hand with the heart and soul of American audiences. You've got songs about love and heartbreak, yes, but it's more than that. Taylor has a peculiar talent for capturing the narrative of everyday American life, knitting stories out of small-town romances, summer flings, and the trials and triumphs that could echo anyone's life from coast to coast. Tim McGraw takes you back to your high school sweetheart and the melancholy of young love. 22 is an anthem for the carefree days of early adulthood. Each song is like a chapter in a coming-of-age novel that countless Americans can relate to. Her influence on American pop culture is undeniable as well. Swift isn't just a musician, she's an icon who can bring a touch of her brand to other platforms and campaigns. Remember those heartfelt commercials with her songs in the background, making you feel all fuzzy and patriotic? That's the power of Taylor's brand. She's been able to branch out into so many aspects of American culture, from endorsing high-end products to collaborating with other big names across various industries. Moreover, her approachability and the relatable nature of her storylines has made her a fixture in American households. She has taken the quintessential American narrative, the dream of rising from relatively humble beginnings to reach the zenith of success, and made it accessible. It's that sparkle of hope that if Taylor Swift can do it, with talent and hard work, maybe anyone can. But it's not just about the glitz. Taylor has also woven social themes into her music. The man and only the young are prime examples of her dipping her toes into political, gender, and social commentaries that are ripe on the American mind. Through her artistry, she has opened doorways for discussions on equality, justice, and freedom, values deeply etched into the American consciousness. It's important to note that her music has become a soundtrack to several American milestones and events. Presidential campaigns, Olympic features, and the soundtracks of blockbuster movies, Taylor Swift has been there, nudging the American narrative forward with her tunes. So, when we unpack the American brand of Taylor Swift, we're talking about a tapestry of elements, style, themes, the quintessential American dream, and how she wove them into a career that not only entertains but connects, influences, and reflects the ever-changing dynamics of American culture. It's impressive, it's inspiring, and above all else, it's unapologetically Taylor. The road to stardom is seldom smooth, folks. Taylor Swift, despite being on a glittering pedestal now, has had her fair share of turbulence to navigate. From relentless media scrutiny to high-profile personal struggles, and not forgetting the public feuds, she's had to shake off more than just a catchy chorus. Remember back in 2009? The infamous MTV Video Music Awards interruption that set the internet ablaze. A young Taylor Swift, winning her first ever VMA, had her speech cut short. But it wasn't so much the interruption that defined her, it was her grace in handling the situation. She bounced back with characteristic poise, not allowing it to overshadow her achievement or her path. Then there was the media's obsession with her personal life. Her dating history became as much a public spectacle as her music hits. Yet, Taylor tackled it head-on through her music, weaving her experiences into her songwriting. Albums like Red and 1989 weren't just chart toppers, they were her speaking her truth, and the fans were listening, relating, becoming a supportive army rallying behind her. And, let's get real, our American girls had her fair share of feuds, a rite of passage in the pop world perhaps. The disputes with fellow artists and industry titans could have derailed others, but not Taylor. She used these battles to sharpen her advocacy for artist rights, taking control of her music against industry giants, embodying the very essence of American determination and independence. In recent years, facing the giant task of re-recording albums to reclaim her music masters, many artists might have seen it as a roadblock. Taylor saw it as an opportunity. This move not just endeared her even more to her fans, showing strength and vulnerability, but it also sent a clear message to the industry about artist empowerment and ownership. These chapters in her life aren't just footnotes in her biography, they're pivotal moments where she emerged not just unbroken, but fortified. They're the trials that showed Taylor Swift is a force to be reckoned with, crafting her narrative, owning her missteps, and turning them into anthems. Her triumphs are not just in the soaring album sales or the packed stadiums. Her true victory lies in staying relevant, relatable, and, more importantly, resilient. Yep, through it all, Taylor Swift maintained her stature as an emblem of American music, evolving, fighting, and ultimately triumphing. Her journey gives credence to the spirit of Americana, that you can rise, you can fall, but with heart and hustle, you can most certainly rise again. As we look toward the horizon, there's no telling where Taylor Swift will take us next. Just like she's done throughout her career, she keeps us guessing, and frankly, we love the mystery. Now, let's put on our future-tinted glasses and do a bit of speculating about what's in store for this icon of American music. Taylor's musical direction has always been delightfully unpredictable. From her self-titled debut album that twanged with the earnest spirit of country, to the synth-pop brilliance of 1989, and beyond to the indie folk realms of folklore and evermore, it's clear that she's not done evolving her sound. We can look forward to more genre-bending adventures that, somehow, will still feel quintessentially Taylor. Potential projects? I'll tell you this much, Taylor Swift isn't one to rest on her laurels. She's always been a few steps ahead, plotting her next surprise. We've seen her dive into acting, create epic music videos, and tackle hot-button issues with her songwriting. Let's not forget her re-recording journey, reclaiming her first 6 albums as Taylor's versions. But there's more on the horizon. Could it be more in-depth documentary work, exploring her artistic process? A Broadway musical featuring her songs, or even new original compositions for theater? Or perhaps she'll pull a reverse Dylan and go back to her country roots. Whatever it is, fans will be there for it. Taylor's legacy. Now that's something that's being written with every album, every single, every fearless choice she makes. As a master storyteller, her narrative whispers and bellows through the hearts of millions. The relatability of her lyrics, the honesty in her interviews, and the connections she forges through social media ensure that her legacy is not just as an entertainer, but as a genuine human spirit in the vast American tapestry. Her name is already etched in history alongside the greats, from the Songwriters Hall of Fame to the lessons she's unwittingly given in music business autonomy. Taylor Swift is more than just a singer or a songwriter. She's a movement, an idea, and quintessentially an American symbol of reinvention and resilience. As she guides her career with deliberate and thoughtful navigation, she's paving the way not only for herself but for the future of the industry. She's shown us that in the land of the free and the home of the brave, one story is never fully told. It's always unfolding, ripe with the promise of new dreams, new chapters, and a new soundtrack for our American lives. And while I can't predict the future with absolute certainty, if history has shown us anything, it's that the story of Taylor Swift will only continue to captivate and inspire. She's more than the girl with the guitar. She's a relentless force carving out a path for the next generation of American music icons. So, stay tuned. If we know anything about Taylor Swift, it's that the best is surely yet to come. As we begin to wrap up today's episode, let's circle back and look at what Taylor Swift's journey has taught us. Her story isn't just one of success, it's a blueprint of the American dream in motion. From her humble beginnings on a Christmas tree farm to the glittering lights of stadium tours, Taylor embodies what it means to grab hold of that dream and ride it to its fullest potential. Her tenacity and raw talent catapulted her from a small-town girl with a guitar to an icon whose music transcends borders. And it's not just about her music. Taylor's narrative songwriting captures the essence of American storytelling. She weaves tales of love, loss, and everything in between, connecting with audiences on a deeply personal level. She didn't just create songs, she created anthems that have become part of the fabric of American life. But Taylor's influence extends well beyond the stage and the studio. As a cultural ambassador for American music, she's brought a piece of American artistry to every corner of the globe. Her ability to remain relatable while sitting at the pinnacle of fame is a testament to her artistry and character. She stands as a beacon to aspiring musicians everywhere, proof that with enough determination and skill, anyone can rise to the top. Her journey also mirrors the patchwork nature of American culture itself, ever-changing, boldly innovative, and deeply reflective. Taylor Swift isn't just a pop star, she's a living narrative of American identity, one that continues to evolve just as our nation does. As we conclude, Taylor Swift's story leaves us with several takeaways. Her unfaltering drive, her resilience in the face of public scrutiny, and her undeniable talent all contribute to her status as a modern-day American legend. She's shown us that the road to success is often lined with trials, but it's how we navigate these challenges that truly defines us. Folks, it's been a pleasure diving into the life and legacy of Taylor Swift. Her story is one that continues to unfold and promise new chapters that we can all look forward to. As a cultural cornerstone in American music, her journey is far from over, and I for one can't wait to see where her dreams will take her, and us, next. And with that, we reach the end of today's journey on It's American. Keep dreaming, keep listening, and keep reinventing what it means to be American, just like Taylor Swift does. Thanks for joining me, and remember, the spirit of America is a song best sung together. Well, folks, that wraps up another episode of It's American. I cannot thank you enough for joining me, Roger Heilig, on this journey through the incredible story of Taylor Swift, a name that echoes across not just America, but the entire world. If this episode struck a chord with you, or if you've got thoughts on Taylor's influence on our music and culture, I'd love to hear them. Reach out on our social media platforms, or send a message through our website. Let's get the conversation going about what American culture means to you. Until next time, keep your spirits high and your playlist inspiring. Stay tuned and stay American.